Hi there. This is Dr. John Whitcomb on the topic of how much time do statins add to your life? The statin industry in America is about $18 billion a year, and it's one of the most profitable ones around. So I'm going up against the powers of evil here. And don't get me wrong, heart disease is the number one killer in America, so we need to address heart disease. But let's be a little dispassionate. The cracks in the Statin Empire started showing, 8, 10 years ago when a study from Sweden or Finland maybe Norway, showed that called the Hunt study, that was from Norway, following some 50,000 people for 10 years, 500,000 years of follow-up, showed that people whose cholesterol over 200 live longer than people under 200. That's a problem, because in America we've dumbed it down to simply 200. You got to be on a statin. All right. Now we have a study in the British Medical Journal looking at 600,000 people from Korea followed for 10 years. It turns out that the people who lived the longest had cholesterol of 210 to 240. That's even a bigger problem. So it's not your cholesterol total level. It's who wants to live longer. I do. Well, let's look even further. In the British Medical Journal, a study shows if you take all the studies that are properly randomized placebo-controlled trialed and look at them, those in them, guess how much time you add to your life? 5 days. 5 days? For all that cost, you add 5 days to your life to the average person? For all those side effects that are underreported, you just add 5 days? Statins aren't the solution. The solution is in your own hands. Small dense LDLs you can measure. Oxidized LDLs do cause a problem. Plasmalogens are more predictive of coronary artery disease than cholesterol. Get your plasmalogens checked. Normalize them. You can fix them. You can fix them just with the lifestyle issues to some degree. Intermittent fasting, getting your blood sugar down, insulin control are all far more effective than taking a statin. So if you want to really live a long life and be healthy and not have heart disease, you do have to avoid sugar. You do have to avoid white carbs. Those are true things. You do have to practice intermittent fasting. Yes, those are all good. Get your Cleveland Heart Lab measured and look at your particle size. If you have small, dense, oxidized particles, you are in trouble. And if you've had a heart attack, there is evidence that statins do lower your risk, so they do have some role for folks who've had a prior cardiac event. But for the average Joe Blow, cholesterol over 200, give me a break. You don't need to be on statins. If you have nice, big, fluffy LDLs, if your triglycerides are lower than your HDLs, you don't need to be on statins. And particularly if you have a calcium score of your coronary arteries that's 0, you don't need to be on statins. Half of women on statins have calcium scores of 0. They can confidently stop. What will work for me? I checked my calcium score, I was 1. So I'm going to check it again in a couple more years. I avoid sugar. I don't eat breakfast most days. I do intermittent fasting and compress my calories into about 8 hours. I have my triglycerides down to 80. That's what you want. You can do it. Dr. Whitcomb for News and Nutrition. Average statin adds 5 days to your life. Not worth it.